Hi YouTube, I'm JoshStrifeHayes and this is a guide to Castle Never in the Neverwinter Online game. So I've got 3 DPS, a healer and a tank. I'm going to queue up for the epic dungeon, go to Castle Never and join the queue. Now I'm going to be talking about all of the unique mechanics of Castle Never as we go through the dungeon. It's quite a complicated dungeon, so I'm going to take my time and explain everything I'm doing to you as I do it. We're going to push through quite quickly, but I want to make sure I cover everything. If you have any questions about this guide, you can normally find me on Twitch under JoshStrifeHayes. We're waiting in the queue now. As soon as that pops, we'll be able to go and I can talk you guys through it. Now, Castle Never has a really lovely and unique setup in that the final boss, Orcus, has loads of mechanics, but you experience all of those mechanics as you go through the dungeon. So he doesn't have anything that you haven't seen before, he simply has a massive combination of everything. Now we start the dungeon, head across the bridge. As we head across the bridge, you'll see there are some demons chasing those guards. Now these demons aren't easy, even for an end game geared group like us, and we're not fantastic at end game. They're still going to prove challenging. You should see these demons as a test. If you can take these 2 demons down with no problems, you should be fine with the rest of the dungeon. Once you've killed them, you get a small unskippable cutscene. Now there's a lovely piece of world building that goes on just now. As we run forward, you'll see that there are 2 guards joined together with a green beam. See that beam just there? And when the 2 guards finally came into contact, they shot up into the air and then died. That's an attack that we're going to experience. That's the first bit of foreshadowing that Castle Never does. And that's why I like this dungeon so much. It's built in a very story-like style. So we head through the door, the first bonfire is here, and this is the first challenge. We have to fight our way across this bridge. Now this bridge is going to become flooded with skeletons, absolutely loads of them, and at the far end of the bridge there's a portal that's going to fire a burst of energy out every few seconds. Thankfully, this suits me perfectly, so I'm going to DPS and AoE all of these guys as we run through them. You'll notice that my team is doing fantastically well to keep the aggro off me and to keep us all healed. We're going to push through this bridge, killing everything we can as fast as we can. Now you see this portal that's just spawned? First thing it's going to do is give us some more demon enemies down here. And then every now and again, keep your eyes on the bridge, because you're going to see a red rectangle of damage shoot across it. To avoid this, you just want to stand at either side. So some more enemies have spawned from behind us. We're going to jump forward and kill these guys as well. If we kill them fast enough, we didn't even see one of the damages. We just managed to kill them that quickly. Now here's another mechanic you're going to see in the final boss that we're being shown first. We walk into this room and you'll see there are portals all over the room, abyssal tears. Walk up to one and press F. You're going to enter the tear. Your objective now is to kill all the enemies in the tear as fast as possible. Thankfully, because I'm built to do exactly this, hopefully it's not going to take me too long. Once you've killed all the enemies, you'll be transported out of the rift, back into the room you were in. When your team has taken care of and destroyed all of these rifts, this door will open, or it will be able to be opened. Now you can, if you want to, run toward a rift that has somebody already in it and enter to give them a hand. I don't need to. You see, as soon as I enter, Don has already just finished. But now we've taken care of all the rifts, we can open these doors and push through. There's a mob of enemies waiting for us through this door. Jump forward and AoE them. There's lots of mobs in this dungeon. This is a dungeon completely full of mobs. Thankfully, they're not that hard to kill. We turn left and run down here. See that huge abyssal tear? Well, as we get close to it, 2 enemies are going to pop up and then a larger elite in the middle. Now that elite in the middle can cause us some problems because he has some special attacks. You'll see in a second 4 beams come out of him, 1 in each direction and a circle from the centre. You want to try and avoid that, otherwise you will take some damage. Once we've taken him down, we're going to see the first mini-boss. Now I'm going to change my build slightly by putting on a different attack to do more single target damage. I will talk more about my build in a separate video. This first boss is a Beholder. Now the Beholder can do a couple of things. Whoever has aggro, the Beholder is going to focus on. The Beholder is going to occasionally spit forward in a kind of fan attack. They can cause red circles on the floor which you want to avoid, or they can cause two players to be linked together by a beam. Exactly the same as the beam that we saw at the start of the dungeon. When two players are linked, they will slowly be drawn closer to each other. If those two players contact, they will shoot up into the air and take a lot of damage. If you get linked to another player by the beam, simply avoid them. See, I've been linked already. Me and Elvis are linked together by this beam. We're going to fight on opposite sides. This is going to take away the danger of us bumping into each other. Now you can see how dangerous Talgath is because I've already died. I was taken down by a massive burst of DPS. Thankfully, my team were able to get me up, and now we carry on. Remember, the reason you're taking this on as a 5-man group is because one person may not be good enough. I'm definitely not. I'm relying heavily on the group to help me out. Stay behind the Beholder as often as you can. That's the safest place. The tank hopefully is going to keep the focus forward, and I'm going to stay behind. Now if we watch the attacks this guy's doing, you'll see that there's the beam link, there's the cone style spit attack, and occasionally we'll get the red circles on the floor. There they are, just there. It's not a dangerous fight if you work together. I've already died once and my guys got me up straight away. I've got complete faith in this team to finish this dungeon. Now I'm of course staying behind him because I want to use my combat advantage as much as possible, and I don't want to take any of the damage from his attacks. There's no specific danger to being close or far away. His attacks can hit anyone. When you've killed him, if you are lucky, he will drop something useful. Unfortunately, no refining drop here, so we're going to carry on. That's the first mini-boss dealt with and done. Now I'm going to change back to my AoE powers. You'll see this hallway is completely full of zombies. This is very similar to the first hallway we fought, where we fought across that bridge. Just AoE everything. If you're an AoE DPS like I am, this is your absolute playground. This is exactly where you want to be. But you'll be able to see down the end of this corridor is a Balor, a very tough elite enemy running toward us. We're going to have to team up again to take the Balor down. Don't underestimate this guy. If you underestimate this guy, he will kill you. Stay behind him, have your tank grab the aggro. Thankfully, he telegraphs his moves quite easily. He will swing his massive Vorpal sword back and then at you in a really easy to dodge attack. So as long as you keep your wits about you and keep focusing on him, dodging his attacks shouldn't be a problem. It may take you longer than it's taken us to take him down. Thankfully, we've got a pretty well geared team. When he dies, he will explode. If you're caught in the explosion, you'll take some damage and be thrown back. Carry on down and then turn left through this door. We now need to kill 4 Servitors of Orcus before we can access the next part of the dungeon. You can see on the right hand side of the screen it says, destroy the Servitors of Orcus. These aren't anything dangerous, they're just regular enemies. So we run forward into the nicely furnished part of Castle Never and AoE the mob that's waiting to greet us. Now Castle Never does have some secrets and some hidden Easter eggs. We're not going to focus on them in this video. This is more about getting you to the end as fast as possible and giving you a brief overview. We want to run forward and ideally, especially for me, keep everything in one group. The reason we're turning right and going into this room is because, as you can see here, is one of the Servitors of Orcus that we need to kill. There's nothing specifically dangerous about them, just avoid the red and DPS as fast as you can. When we've taken them down, we can carry on. I'm going to wait for my team before I rush in, because this is a dungeon where I really need to make sure that everyone's behind me and everyone's working together. So far, it's going pretty well. This room can be dangerous if you run in by yourself. Now, over here you'll see a treasure chest, and we know that it's a real treasure chest because the receptacle in the center of my screen has the little loot icon next to it. Remember, if it doesn't have the loot icon, it's a mimic. We run through the doorway, turn right, and carry on into the next group of enemies. You'll find another Servitor of Orcus. You can't really miss any of these guys, because if you miss them, you're going to have to go back and kill them anyway. Once all 4 have been killed, we can push forward. We push forward. On the right, you'll find a bonfire. Once we've got the bonfire, we can turn left from that corridor we were in and enter the rift. Now this is going to be another mechanic that will pop up when the end boss gets around. The reason I love this dungeon so much is it introduces you to every mechanic before you have to fight it. What will happen now is there'll be a large green orb in the center of the room, and enemies will walk slowly toward that orb. It's called a sphere. See? The sphere just there, the green death sphere. If enemies reach this green death sphere, they will charge it up. When the charge reaches maximum, a very, very high-powered attack will explode from it. This attack can kill lower-level players straight off, or it can do a lot of damage to even well-geared players. It takes me to almost 0 health. I can take 1 hit from this orb. I definitely can't take 2. If the undead adventurers make it to the center and charge the orb, and the energy attack happens, it will then reset to 0 and it will charge again. You'll see on the right hand side, our objective is stop the undead from charging the sphere. We have to kill 20 undead. The orb will fire off as many times as it needs to until you have killed 20. If you are able to kill 20 before the orb charges once, that's the best case scenario. You won't take any damage from the orb. We've successfully managed to do that. We've defeated 20 before the orb charged once. We are then taken out of the room and we run forward toward this giant spiral staircase. If you have any questions about this guide or would just like to chat, you can normally find me on Twitch under JoshStrifeHayes. Climb all the stairs and we'll be ready for the next mini-boss. Running across this bridge, we're about to take on the Illithilich. I'm going to change around my powers slightly to be more single target because I want to do damage to him quicker. The mechanics on the Illithilich are this. DPS the main target as fast as you can. He will spawn adds as every boss does. Deal with the adds as and when they pop up. However, the unique mechanic is this. Occasionally, he will teleport you to the ceiling, or if you're on the ceiling, teleport you back to the floor. When this teleportation happens, you may see a red square underneath you. This is because you're about to be teleported onto a spike pit. You'll take heavy damage if you stay there. When we walk into this room, you'll see the opening cinematic. The camera pans up and focuses on the spikes. This is to let you know what's about to happen. So there's the Illithilich. And the camera pans up and there are the spikes. So we want to DPS this guy quickly. If you are an exceptionally high DPS group, you can kill this guy before he teleports you once. He doesn't teleport you based on his health like most bosses. He teleports you based on time you've been in the room. So the longer you spend in the room, the more time you will flip between ceiling and floor. You don't want this to happen, so kill him as fast as you possibly can. I hope it happens once just to show you. You'll see all of the red circles around the arena. As usual, avoid these. Now when he flips the room for the first time, like that, there'll be spikes everywhere. And you can see one of our guys has actually fallen to the damage. There's nothing wrong with that, it's a very powerful attack. When he flips the room back, spikes might not be everywhere, and you might be lucky enough to avoid them without specifically dodging. If I were to look up now, it would effectively be looking down onto the floor. I really like the design of this dungeon. I think it's very, very well done. But we're going to try and kill him. You see all these squares appearing on the floor? Fantastic. When he flipped for the second time, I thankfully wasn't stood on a square, so I didn't take the damage. The longer this fight takes, the more room flips are going to happen, the more chance you have of dying. So kill him as fast as you can, avoiding all the red. Once this guy's taken down, if you're lucky, he'll drop something useful. He's dropped an enlightened insignia of vigor. I don't need that, so I'm going to leave it on the floor. We then continue pushing our way through. Now this is where Castle Never can get difficult, or there's a little trick I'm going to show you. You want to avoid walking in the light wherever you can. When you walk through here, head to the right hand side of the room, jump up onto the bench which is in the darkness and run through. Now if you stick to the left hand side of this room and keep jumping, you can hopefully get through without aggroing the enemies. Stick to the right hand side here and jump, and you'll notice that both myself and Lux have gone all the way through without any of the enemies getting up. If your whole team can do that, fantastic, the whole team can do that. But remember, you're part of a team. If one of your teammates accidentally wakes up the enemies, then head back and help your teammate. It's not hard to go and kill everything, it's just a little bit quicker to get through without waking them up. But never leave a teammate behind. If someone accidentally aggroes them, go through and help. We've all managed to make it through without waking any of the enemies. That was fantastic. Now you see this little cinematic here of this green sphere of annihilation, or orb of annihilation? And that's what we're going to take on next. Now if I stand here, when I walk out into this corridor, you'll notice this green mist all around the place. See the sphere of annihilation? It's going to go backwards and forwards several times. If you dodge at the right time, like I did just then, you can actually dodge through it. There are several of these spheres in the next part of the dungeon. When you go through this corridor, turn left into this room, because there's no enemies in this room. There's another sphere. Stick to the left and avoid it. When we are back through this area, we want to keep going, and you'll see a sphere pushing down the corridor there. Now I want to avoid that sphere, so what I'm going to do is jump onto these boxes at the left, turn around so I can see it, and as the sphere goes through and past, I'm going to then wait for it to go past and jump around. Kalten, of course, strong enough to tank all the damage. I am not. Now there's another sphere of annihilation that's coming down there. There are some elite enemies in that room ahead of us. We're going to aggro the elite enemies and bring them down here. The reason we're doing this is so then we don't have to fight them near the spheres. This is actually a little safe corner where the spheres can't come. So we're bringing all the elite enemies down here and fighting them where we don't have to worry about the spheres of annihilation. Don't try and tank the spheres of annihilation unless you are specifically built to do that. 2 hits from those, I die. I'm going to stand in the corner over here, wait for the sphere to go back, and then follow it. It will turn right, and I am able to run to the right hand side of this room and jump around the side and not take any damage from it. We've made it all the way through to the boss. This is Orcus. Now Orcus has got some great mechanics and very interesting fight. Unfortunately he has a lot of health, so this is going to be a real grind. The DPS are going to have to work extra hard to kill him as fast as possible, otherwise you're going to be in there a long time. Orcus will stand in the middle of the room and he will never move. No matter what you do, Orcus will not move from where he is, meaning in theory it should be possible to just stand back and range him until he dies. Unfortunately, there are several things preventing you from doing this. He will have a huge room-hitting attack. Everyone will take damage from this. You can't avoid it. You can tell when that's going to happen because he'll stop attacking you and raise his arms in the air at his sides. As soon as that happens, make sure your health's on full, keep hitting him. Now after he's done that large room-hitting attack, he will do one of several special attacks. The special attacks are all variations on things you've already seen. He might link 2 players together by that death beam. He might summon and spawn portals around the edge of the room. If this happens, run up to a portal, press F to enter the rift and kill all the enemies in the rift. And then you'll be teleported back to the main room. He might fly up into the sky and summon a death sphere in the middle of the room that will charge in exactly the same way the previous one charged, by enemies walking toward it. Or he might summon those green death balls, the orb of annihilation that were floating around the corridor, to float around the room. No matter what happens, you've dealt with it before. So the tank is going to keep Orcus facing forward. I'm going to get behind him as a DPS and then do as much damage as I can as fast as I can. You cannot take many hits from Orcus. I can take 2 until I die. So I do not want to take any damage from this guy whatsoever. See how he raises his arms there? We're all about to take damage. That's the big damaging attack, and now we see what's happened. So what he's done, he's joined myself and Lux together by that beam. As soon as that happens, you have maybe a second or two just to wait and attack him. Use that second when he's not doing anything to get some real DPS in. Keep the team behind him, the tank in front, keep the healer focused on keeping the guys alive, and do as much as you can, as quickly as you can. He will raise his arms again in a second, and something else will happen. There's no way to know what's going to happen. Just be prepared for everything. His arms are up again, here's the big attack, we all take damage, and now he has flown away and the death sphere has been built in the middle of the room. Now we need to kill adventurers, kill all these undead adventurers before they get to the middle. The mechanics are exactly the same as last time. If we can kill the guys before it charges, it won't fire. If they manage to get enough to the center to charge it, we have to keep killing them. It will fire as many times as it needs to until you have killed as many as you need to. We seem to be doing this fine. Once you have killed all the undead adventurers, the sphere will disappear and Orcus will land and the fight will carry on. Remember, the tank needs to get his attention first, and then all the DPS need to stand behind him, the safest place away from his attacks, and do as much DPS as they can. This is a long fight. It's not going to be over quickly. Now, the longer any fight goes on, the greater your chance of dying. All we have to do now is wait for him to raise his arms again and see what he throws at us. No matter what it is, you've dealt with it before. Don't let the fight worry you. It looks complicated, it's actually just several simple mechanics added together. So what's he done now? What's he done now is simply he's hitting all of us a lot. Sometimes he'll raise his arms, hit the whole room, and then nothing will happen. If that happens, consider yourself lucky. I'm going to keep throwing the damage in from behind as often as I can. And wait for him to raise his arms again. We've got a fantastic team all working together. There's the attack, and what's going to happen this time? Portals have spawned. Excellent. Lets me show you something new. Run to one of the portals, press F to enter, and then kill all the enemies inside, exactly like you did at the start of the dungeon. Nothing is different or more complex. When the enemies are all dead, you'll be pulled from the abyss and sent back into the Orcus fight. There is a very rare glitch where you will not be sent back to the Orcus fight. If that happens, unfortunately, you're just out of the fight. It's very rare, and I think they are dealing with it, but be aware, it does happen. Now, you'll notice that Orcus is taking basically no damage. While these portals are up, his defense is increased to a huge level. There is no point attacking him while the portals are up. His defense is so high, you may as well deal with the portals first. You can, if you want to, simply wait for all the portals to run out of time. Nothing bad will happen if you do this. You'll just have several minutes where Orcus is taking almost no damage. Once we've dealt with the portals, we return to the fight as we were. Tank in front, DPS behind, healer keeping us all alive, waiting for him to raise his arms again and show whatever he wants to do next. If you don't do this first time, or if you don't kill him as quickly as we are killing now, don't despair and don't worry. We've done this a lot. This is designed to be a tough fight. So what he's done this time is he has linked together myself and Kalten. Now that's exceptionally useful because Kalten is standing at the front of him and I'm standing behind him. So in theory, we should never bump into each other. And we've managed to do enough to take him down. When Orcus dies, if you're lucky, he'll drop something rare. Unfortunately, we're not getting lucky today. And then you've got two chests over here. The chest on your left-hand side is opened by using the regular epic key that you normally get. Nothing good from that, unfortunately. And the chest over here is opened using a greater demonic key. To get the greater demonic key, open your quest journal, go to the Sword Coast Chronicles, and go to the Underdark campaign. When you're in the Underdark campaign, you can make a greater demonic key from the keys area on the side. I'm going to use a greater demonic key to open this and see if we get anything good. Unfortunately, nothing decent, but that was the Castle Never fight. It's not as difficult as it seems. Now go and kill Castle Never and go and get some +5 rings.